My name is Delroy Lindo. I play Paul.
My name is Clark Peters, and I play Otis.
My name is Norm Lewis, and I play Eddie.
This is Jonathan Majors. I play David.
I'm Isaiah Whitlock Jr. I play Melvin in The Five Bloods.
When one is given the luxury and the opportunity of pursuing what one really wants to do, that can be the difference between saving one's life versus struggling.
What acting has taught me about humanity, and something that I got from my father actually, was that it takes all kinds of people to make up this world.
Acting has taught me the many facets of humanity. You know, what it is to be a villain, what it is to be a hero, what it is to be a coward, what it is to be a friend. In that you can acknowledge that all those things are in you, therefore they're in other people.
Even though Spike and I had not worked together in over 20 years, his creative objectives are as sharp as they ever were. What has been affirmed for me as a result of working on the film is that when there is clarity of purpose, and I believe that between myself as actor and Spike Lee as director, there is a clarity of purpose in terms of the story that Spike as filmmaker wants to tell. It cannot help but enriching the final product.
With Spike, I knew that we were going to be on set at 6 o'clock, and I knew that we were going to wrap at 6. I knew that he knew every shot he wanted to get for that day. He had a roster, and he would make sure that we got there. That meant you, as the actor, would just have to make sure that you were on point for what needed to be done at that point in the storytelling.
Everything you know, and trust that. Because Spike picks everyone for a reason and puts you in the film for a reason. And you really have to trust that. The good parts about you and the bad parts about you, the parts you really like, the parts you really dislike, you really have to trust that. When it's go time, you go. You don't meditate on what it is you're going to do, and you may not get another take. So, go.
One of the things that I learned working with Spike Lee is the power of improvisation. Whenever I would reach an impasse, I would always start to improvise my way out of it. Not trying to be cute or anything like that, but using that improvisation to my advantage to kind of get myself back on track. Spike allowed me to do that, and that's where I get a lot of those honest moments.
It's so many surprises because I've admired him for so many years in so many films, but finally getting a chance to work with him and work with him on such an epic piece. He is very structure oriented. He knows what he wants, when he wants it, and how he wants it. But within that structure, he gives you so much freedom, and he's very compliant with what the actor has to give. And in some cases, he changes things up. He'll give dialogue, and then he'll say, take that away and try it this way, and make something up, improv. So I've learned to trust this giant of a man, and I'm so honored to be in this movie.
An actor years ago taught me how to play various emotions, and I remember him saying it has to start about maybe 10, 12 pages back. You can't get to that moment and expect things to happen.
Listen, really listen, be in the present. That's on stage. On film, it's smaller, stiller, quieter, introspective, because that camera picks up every little nuance in your face, and your face is broadcasting what's on your mind.
The language will tell you where you're going next, and your instrument in concert with the language will tell you where you're going next, and that you can't really rush a performance. You can't really rush an attitude. You can't just give it away. You've got to get there.
Many years ago, when my career was just starting and I was in New York, I was thinking about leaving New York. I was extremely despondent. And a fellow actor said to me, Delroy, don't leave. There's work for you here. You're too good. Hang in, because there is work for you as an actor.
Be honest and tell the truth. I always thought I had to be doing something. When he would say action, I always felt like compelled to do something. And he would always say, yes, do something. Be honest and just tell the truth. It sounds very, very simple, but it's one of the hardest things to do.
You want to give them morsels, a bit at a time. As a young actor, and as when we get excited about things, we want to hurry up and share, hurry up and give everything away. But that idea of morsels, giving just enough information to keep the story going.
Yes, I've had mentors. They give me the advice to make rejection a companion. When you're young, you come into this business with great dreams, and you get shot down left, right, and center. Sometimes that can be defeating, but it's just part of the process. It's like the business is testing you to see if you really want to do this. And if you really want to do this, that rejection is something that you need to put into your bag of tricks.
I did have a guy who, he wasn't even an actor or anything like that, but he had seen me in a play and he really liked my work. And he told me, he said, you're going to be very, very good if you study psychology. He said, you've got to know what makes a human being tick. And he said, you're almost there. You just got to study a little bit of psychology and you'll be able to play a myriad of characters. And that's what I did when I was in college. I took 2 years of psychology. I don't think there's a character you can throw at me nowadays that I haven't seen or studied at some point. And that was some of the best advice I ever got.
I would say my first true mentor would have been Ruben Santiago Hudson. His rhythm and his understanding, and he really brought in the idea of the ancestors for me, which is something that was in the back of my head all through training, and that I now really think about and bring into my work.
There are various individuals who have helped me along the way as my career was unfolding, but I can't really say I had a mentor per se. And the fact that I didn't have a mentor per se is part of the reason that I always try to help younger actors in particular whenever, wherever I can.
Relax, take it easy, and trust that I would reach a point in my career where I would be satisfied.
You're doing okay, man. And it's hard right now, but don't stop believing in the thing that's in you. Don't stop believing in the little thing that makes you a little different. Be patient with that.
Understand that the entertainment industry is not a meritocracy, and to understand that in actuality, the entertainment industry is relatively small and that everybody speaks to everybody. It all depends on how one says what one is saying. You get more with sweets than you do with bitters. My mom used to say that to me.
This profession is a collaborative effort. There is not one person who can do it all. You can't act, direct, produce, write. You can, of course, you can go ahead and try, but I don't think that you'll get very far.
Pursue the craft of acting. One is more assured of having some measure of success if one trains and learns the craft of acting.
I ask people why they want to be an actor, and they say, oh, well, somebody said I was funny. And that's not going to get you all that far. I always say you can do it, but you got to put the work in. A lot of people just don't want to work. They just don't want to put the time in. But I always try to remind them that there's no such thing as a natural actor.
It's about intention. And the industry is one thing, the craft of acting is something different. And if you're lucky, if you're blessed, those things come together.
These experiences only come once in a lifetime, if even, and that I should enjoy it. I should enjoy it. I should enjoy life.
I learned that the bond and the connections that we made off screen when we were sitting around talking in the restaurant, in the hotel, or whenever, could have an extraordinarily positive impact on the work that we were doing on screen.
Vietnam was a place where there's still a lot of tears being shed. And you need to be around actors whom you trust to allow yourself safely to go areas that might feel uncomfortable for you. And I think that what I learned with coming out of the Five Bloods is how important that is.
I learned a little Thai. We shot in Thailand. I learned a little Vietnamese.
Thai crews worked their asses off. And I would also say the Vietnamese crew. There was a depth of commitment and a depth of follow-up in terms of application, the manner in which they went about doing their jobs, that was deeply inspiring. I marveled at their work ethic.
This film has opened my eyes to so much about Vietnam, about Thailand.
Irregardless of which flag you're fighting for, there's a shared hurt and there's a shared experience in going to war with somebody. That dust that settles on you is permanent.
The Vietnam War, for a lot of people, is still going on. That great machine of war is still functioning. It's still a money-making machine.
Hopefully, what we learn, and this is not a given, but hopefully what we learn is not to make the same mistakes. Hopefully what we learn is humility.
Especially in this world right now, I hope that we can learn from each other and continue to grow in that way.
What I think we learn by knowing our history is what you're made out of, and also where you come from and who you come from, the good and the bad. Everybody's individual life feeds into the life of our planet and the life of our species.
What was heartbreaking was to learn the percentages of minorities that were on the front line in that war in Vietnam. Minorities who were fighting for their own rights in the country that they were born.
I had no idea about the history that was left out of a major segment of our American history. About the Black culture that was formed while we were there, and about the camaraderie, about the brotherhood.
I never asked whose cake it was. I just went in and cut myself a piece. That's my motto. Comes from an old Clifford Odets play. It's kind of a funky way of saying carpe diem, seize the day.
Slow and steady. If you're constantly moving in the direction of your dreams, of your hopes, of your mission, you can hold on to it and continue to plow through without fatigue, without exhaustion.
I really do want to make the best of what God has given me. How I communicate with my family, how I communicate at work, the kind of human being that I am as I walk through my life and as I walk through the world.
I'm a soul, you are a soul, a peaceful soul, a powerful soul, a loving soul.
The Five Bloods is now on Netflix.